Hello and welcome to another edition of Tips for Dummies. Today I'll be working on a 2006 Porsche Cayenne. I'm actually gonna change the door lock actuator. This thing, sometimes it opens and sometimes it does not. So today I was lucky to catch this door while it's opening, and I'll be changing this, which is the door actuator. I hope that's what is making the problem. And we're gonna start by removing this trim, the door trim. Try to do it with your hands so that way you don't damage the trim, or try to pull it a little bit just like this, as you can see, and then maybe you can pull the screwdriver and softly remove it. It has pins on it, so that way you don't break anything. Alright, so this thing came out. So the next thing we're gonna try to remove is this bottom part. This thing is supposed to come out, and let's see, there's two screws there. Let me see. So I'm gonna try to pull it from this corner first. This thing is supposed to have pins. See how it popped out? Alright, so let's try to remove the other ones. Try to use my hands first, so that way I don't damage the right. As you can see, it's coming off. Do it with a screwdriver in here, or maybe a knife, just like this. Alright. So it's popping out. It's coming off. Okay, we got one more pin here. There you go. So now it came out. You can see that all the pins are, just make sure all the pins are back in place, so that way when you put it back on you don't have any problems. They clipped onto these things right here. I can see that one of them kind of broke there. It's a shame, but anyway, it's just one, luckily. That's what I don't like about these things. And now we have to remove all those screws, and it's 1, 2, 3, and the one on top is about 4 screws that we have to remove to be able to remove the door panel. And all right, let's find the correct tool. Okay, so far we took this bottom part out. We're gonna start the process of removing the bolts. Do not take this trim. I can tell somebody worked on this door before. This is a 2006. It wasn't me, but I can see that they damaged it. I don't think you need to take this one out, neither this one right here. Also, I can tell, you know how they pry this door before. I can see the damage in the door. I can see the nasty, or they were in a hurry, or they were just trying to do a messed up job. This is scratches. You don't have to do all these scratches to remove it. You gotta be careful. And so I got a T25 torque wrench, and I think it'll fit perfectly on this one. I have a magnetizer. You can magnetize this so that way you can take the bolts out. It's just that I don't have it with me to show you how it works. But you can magnetize it so that way you can take the bolts out. Alright, so I got one. Let's continue with the other one, which is right here. Right, this is out. And process of removing the other one. It's a good idea that before you remove these doors, you buy pins, the door pins, the door panel pins, because on the process of removing it out, it's very likely that you're gonna break one or two, and you don't want to wait until they get. They're not that cheap. Let me see if I can find the part number, and I put it right here. But if you have the pins already, well, then you don't have to wait. All right, so I got one. All right, this is coming out. Two. Let's see if he's got one more mold. And that's it. That's all the bolts that we can remove. I think now we are free to remove the door panel. And to remove the door panel, well, we're gonna have to prime it, and through here we gotta do it carefully so that we don't damage the metal, just like they did trying to remove the bolt. And what I'm trying to do is just get all the bolts and put them on the Ziploc bag, so that way we don't lose it. This is a good practice. And I'm gonna put all the bolts in, so we don't, they stay there and you know they're right there. So now that we got all the bolts out holding the door panel to the chassis of the frame metal, well, now it's time to remove the pins. Carefully, we gotta see where the pins are at. I found one over here, so I'm gonna put a little bit of pressure. So you have to use a little bit of like a quick and sharp pull to remove it, like this, instead of doing it slowly, so that way they can pop out the pins, just like this, just like that. You see how it's popping out? Once it comes out, we'll find out how many pins they got broken, and we're gonna replace them. But instead of doing it hard like this, so you can see the damage, I didn't do that. I did it the opposite side, like in a quick motion, they pop out. So the door, I assume, it's ready to to come out. I think right here on top there is some pins also. Okay. And you push it up and the door is out. You can see how the door is out. Now it's time to disconnect the cables. All right, so we got this one right here for the, what is this, for a speaker, small speaker. All right. And I'm gonna figure out, put this out. Which one is kind of different? All right. So yeah, you push these two little pins, boom, and it comes out. This is just to like kind of like holding it. This is just like to hold it. But yeah, you press these two and it pops out. Now let's see the this is the door cable, and this thing you gotta pull it out from here. So I got this thing out. I have to figure out how to get that kind of like in place. Yeah, see, this thing came out. It goes inside like this. You gotta pull it. So it has this channel in which this travels, and it pops in place. Which I don't want to put it right now. I'll show you whenever I put the door back on. All right, and then. Well, see, like if it looks like if we didn't break any cables at all, but anyway, we're gonna have to disconnect this right here. This is from the door actuator. No, that's for the window. This is for the window. And let's figure it out. Alright. So for the window switch, you just push this little pin right here, and pull it. And the door is out. The door panel. We're gonna look for all the pins. I think we got two of them right here that actually they didn't break. They're just in here. I think I'm just gonna pull it out and put it back in place, and I think we're gonna be okay. Now we're gonna have to try to figure out how to remove this, so that way we can remove the door actuator, which is right here. All right, so let's do it. So we got a door panel out. Now it seems like if we're gonna have to take this metal frame out, and we're gonna see if this is possible. There is screws all over. However, there is some, I don't like this. Perhaps we're gonna have to remove the window motor also to be able to remove this panel out of here. and we'll see. We get let me get the right tools. Looks like a T26. Let me find it, and let's go ahead and remove this stuff, so that way we can change the actuator. All right, guys. So as you can see, I took the panel, and I came to the surprise that it has another panel that it might need to be removed. The only problem that I see right here is that it's got some rivets right here, and I am not quite sure if we have to remove them or not. I don't know if it comes as a whole piece with the back thing. So because I'm learning with y'all guys, it is very likely that I'm gonna have to take the motor window out too, to be able to get the panel out. This is the motor. This is very likely. Like I said, it's got these rivets right here. So I'm gonna put tape in here because I'm gonna remove the window motor mount, and I don't want the window to fall. All right, so let's do it. So I forgot to tell you a very important thing, man. Sometimes the door, it will open, sometimes it wouldn't. I could hear the click, but it didn't open. So to open it, I just hit it a couple of times like this, not too hard, and then it grabbed and it opened. So that's the way I got it. Hopefully it works for you. In case your door doesn't open, that worked for me. All right, so it calls, this bolt calls for a number 10 socket, and I'm just gonna remove them. All three of them. This cover is pretty much the one that it holds the door panel in place. You can see where the screws are at. So I'm gonna take all three bolts. Make sure you don't lose them. You don't want to lose any parts. And the one on top. Alright, so I got this out. I got the door frame out. Alright, so now I'm gonna proceed to take the, you know what, I'm gonna put the bolts back on. That way I make sure I don't lose them. I have that bag where I can put them, but I'm just gonna put them in this place. Sometimes you can get confused, and this way you will not get confused. All right, so now we need to remove the motor, as you can see, and let me see what it calls for on that. All right, guys, so it calls for a T25. All right, it fits perfectly there. It calls, it fits, and there's 3 bolts that we gotta remove there. And let's just get it going. Don't want to lose weight. Don't want to lose time. Okay, so I got one bolt out. Second one. Second is out. Alright, got it out. And the third one, let's get it going. Alright, so we got all 3 bolts out. Now the motor should come out. A little afraid. Yep, it came out. Alright. Alright, so let's keep going. I want to disconnect these. I don't know. I want to leave it hanging there for a little bit. All right. So this is the window part. This is what brings the window up and down. So now we're in the process of removing all the bolts. And let's see. That calls for a deep 30. Alright guys, so now I'm gonna remove all the bolts, man. I had already previously loosened them up. That's on the bottom. Alright. 2. This one was loose. I'm getting it. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. That's a total of 8 bolts. Okay. And well, it's supposed to come out now. And let me try to get a screwdriver there. All right. So now, if you grab it from the bottom, put pressure, and this, it comes off. All right. So now we know this thing can come off. The only problem is that the rivets, they have to come off. And to be able to do that, we have to get a drill bit and drill them out. And let's see what happens. All right. In the meantime, you see this part, it comes with a whole gasket and everything. So that's why you couldn't see no tutorials for this, because it's a little bit hard. But for me, it's not that it's not hard or not. I just gonna do it. All right, guys. So I need to get a drill bit and drill those. All right, guys. So I got the drill bit, and what we have to do is drill the rivets. A total of 4 rivets that you have to drill. Don't be scared. The rivets is not really that big of a deal. I'll show you how to install them. Alright, so once you drill them out, you gotta get it to pop off. It's supposed to come off. Alright, so they're not pretty much there yet. So I'm gonna have to drill it out a little bit more. Okay, maybe I can drill a smaller hole inside, and that will help me to remove the rivets. Try, it's just that my battery is going out, but let me try. The goal is to remove these rivets. Okay. One out. Yeah. Oops. Two out, but I also broke the drill bit, which is not good. So I'm gonna have to change it. I was just putting too much pressure on it. One is because I'm really not using metal drill bits. That's one of them. This is more like for wood, but let me try this. Alright, so we're down to one. All we have to take is this one rivet right here. It's out. Now I got all rivets out, and this piece, it should come out. But let's see what surprises we have. Alright. Alright guys, so one of the things I noticed is that this thing, it's hooked up to the window mechanism. So these pins, we have to push them out. It has those little pins, as you can see, and you have to just press them, and this thing will go out just like that. Now it's gonna be really fun to put it back in, but we're gonna make it. I hope you can see that you gotta press the pins to push the window mechanism in. To put it back in is gonna be a different story. All right, so let's keep moving with the door. Right. We have these little pins, I guess rivets over here holding it. I was hoping that I didn't have to drill this because they're plastic. And I don't think we have to be drilling those. I think it comes with the plastic itself. It's holding it right there. So I'll try it. I'll try to remove them. Let's see. That's about the only thing holding the door. And guys, I decided to remove the window motor, because it just puts weight on the door panel. So as you can see, it's got these pins. You push this pin and pull it out. You push this pin right here. Push it, and pull it at the same time. So that's one of them out. And same thing in here. You got a pin in here that you can press and pull at the same time. And pull at the same time. Now, man, we got different connections in here. So all we have to remember is that it was hooked up on C. This one right here, and this one. Just two together. Let's try to remember, because it seems like if this thing fits perfectly in this one, now it doesn't fit. It does not. So you don't have to worry about it. I'm sorry, my bad. All right, so we got the motor out, and we're about to remove this door somehow. and we'll see. All right, so these plastic things, they're just like pins. If you grab them from the back like this, it'll come off. They're not doing so much work there, they're just there for what I know. And it seems like if this thing, they have another rivet right there. I'll find out. Sure it doesn't, but I'll figure it out. Alright guys, so it has rivets also on the side. So what I had to do is get the drill kind of like towards the side and drill it. I did a little bit of a damage to the gasket, but I don't think it will hurt the weather because this is the part that it seals. And unfortunately it has a rivet too. Alright, so let me see what happens now. So another difficult thing is that the gasket, it's one piece and it goes all the way around the door. Just hoping I can put it back in the same way I'm pulling it out. And it is like if you just gotta push it in. And I'm gonna have to remove the gasket because otherwise it won't let me take the door out. And there's another thing holding it in here, but I'll figure out what it is. All right guys, well, as you can see, I have 2 rivets. They need to come off too. How am I gonna put that thing back on? I have no idea yet, but they have to come off. But the thing is that the rivets, they're from inside out, something very weird. I have never seen anything like this. So it's kind of strange. Also just to think how they did that from the inside out. Perhaps before removing that, maybe if I remove the bolts for the actuator, it comes as a one piece. And well, I'm gonna try to find out. Alright guys, so it calls for a D40 to remove the door actuator. It's a T40. I'll put it right here on the side. Removing these two, that should loosen the whole actuator out. And I am assuming, yeah, something came up. I am assuming this thing will come out as a whole door actuator. And it seems like if it is, so I don't have to get the rivet out now for right now. So okay, so I got this part out. Alright, so you're here to take those 2 bolts. Alright guys, so after taking these 2 bolts for the door actuator, I noticed the camera won't detect it, but I noticed that I still gonna have to remove these 2 rivets out. How they did this, it's very unknown because they're from the inside. But if I don't remove that, there's no way the actuator is going to come out at all. So I'm going to try to remove this, and you know, in that case I can put 2 bolts in there, small bolts instead of the rivets. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Alright guys, so I had to drill these two rivets just like I did on the other ones, and now we have a different scenario over here. Alright, now I have to figure out how this thing is gonna come out. There's a lot of stuff in there. It has to come out somehow, and but that's what I need to figure out. Got the cables right there. All right, let me see. All right guys, so this is very weird. This piece of metal, it was with rivets to this wall, and it's also with rivets to the actuator. This is so complicated. I can't even disconnect the cable. I mean the wire, if I want to disconnect it. I'm gonna have to take this to a different level. I'm gonna have to push the that cable. Alright guys, so I was able to take this motor through here. Gotta remember, have to remember that this cable, it goes through that hole, and once you have it out, you have to push it right here to take this out and disconnect it. This is gonna be about the only way to remove this actuator from here, and I don't see other way. It is kind of weird and complicated there. If we didn't have this plastic, it will be so much easier. But I'm gonna try to slide it through that side to see if it comes out that way. I'll figure out a way. So right now I'm trying to remove the actuator. Sometimes I feel like bending this with mess up the whole motor. I wonder what this plastic is doing here. I don't think it's doing nothing. Let me remove it. Alright guys, so I'm having a little problem right here. This is the new actuator. So I'm having a problem on disconnecting the cable from the door handle, which it goes in here. Since it's very difficult to work on that space that I have, what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to drill the old one and cut it out to have more space to disconnect the cable, because I have the feeling that I'm damaging the cable and turning and trying to take it off too much. I don't want to damage the cable. So I'm gonna have to try to drill this thing, the old one, and cut it, removing the old actuator, and then try to see if I can remove the cable from this thing to see how it's done. It's kind of like a difficult task there because of the space that we have, but let's try to do it. All right guys, as I was gonna try to drill this thing, it just came off, man. It just came off. How? I don't know. So I know it's gonna be a struggle to putting it back in. It's gonna be really hard, but it has to be done. Now we have the problem of this, and this, as you can see, has a rivet right there, and it locks down here, and well, it has to come off because I can take it off. If I move it that way, this plastic won't allow me to do it. In my fit through here, but the thick part, which is right there, it won't. So I'm gonna try to take it out from this angle, maybe right here, but I have to remove that. Oh! Let me see. I got something better. It's kind of broke a little bit, but level of difficulty of doing this is really hard, man. But okay, I'm already doing it. So what I'm trying to do is removing the rivet. These rivets, they're made out of aluminum, so you can sometimes try to do it with a drill, and I broke the plastic one piece. I'm gonna put it back like that, yes, because I was thinking of not putting that thing back, but all right. So I'm almost there. Yeah, I worked around with this. Oh. All right, so I was able to grab the pivot. There you go, the pin. Once that thing comes off, it's easier for this thing to break apart and to come off. You might want to drill a little bit there to take all this metal. I never thought it was going to be so difficult. But now I see why it isn't that many tutorials out there on removing this thing. Alright guys, so I had to drill it. I drilled it. This is where it broke. I'm not gonna put some super glue there. I'm not gonna buy another one. I'm just gonna put it back on. This is so tremendously difficult. But anyway, now we might be able to remove this. Maybe, let's see, maybe through here. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Much easier. All right. See that? See how it came out? All right. So we got it out. Oh man. So this is the old actuator. This is where I was trying to work. It's very difficult, but this is it. This is the actuator. I really don't know what that piece of plastic is for. I'm gonna think about it if I'm gonna put that piece of plastic or not back on. It's on the way, but all right. So the next thing to do is to remove this from there and put it back on the new actuator. All right guys, so this is the old door actuator. And the first thing we got to do is remove the cable from the actuator itself, and we have to find out how to do it. Alright, and it clearly seems like it fits just under pressure, so I'm gonna put a screwdriver on the bottom, yeah, right here, and push it out. There you go. Clearly under pressure, that was all. Alright, so it came out. And that's the way it's gonna go in the other one. And let me see this. Alright, so this, it has a pattern. Where is it? It's right here. So you kind of have to bend it like this, and it comes out. And it comes out, yeah. So this, in other words, it goes like this, and it comes out like that. Real easy. Alright. Well, not that easy either. Yeah, just like that. It has the same shape. So it goes in, turn it, and that thing will not come out. The cables are in pretty good condition, you know, that's what I think. So I'm gonna put the new actuator in here. I'm gonna put the cable. Alright. And I'm gonna put this on its place. Alright, just like this. And I'm gonna press it down. There you go. And it snaps in. Alright, make sure it's on place. So we got the cable and its new door actuator. Like I say, I don't know what this piece of plastic do there. I'm undecided if I should put it or not, but well, it's gotta be there for a reason. So I guess I'm gonna throw it back in. I'm gonna try, because I have a feeling that I'm gonna have a hard time trying to hook in this thing over here. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna have to study it before. Alright, so let's continue. Okay guys, so this is the cable, the one that is really hard to install, and it seems like if it's not round, it's flat on one side. So I'm pretty sure if we can get it on the correct angle, it's real easy to go in. The thing is that the way it was, I was not able to see how it was, but I'm pretty sure if we can get it on the right angle, it goes in and it pops in and it won't go nowhere else. So I just wanted to show you that before I install everything else. I'm ready. Okay, so I'm gonna get the motor through this hole, just like I did it, to remove it first. And I don't know what's going on. Let me see. Yeah, that's the way it was. Alright, so the actuator is in. As you can see, I put it exactly the way I put it out. Now this is what I'm gonna do with the actuator. I have this thing out through here, and what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna install the and install this plastic. That, if you remember, this thing, the cable runs through here, it goes in here and here. That's the way it goes. And I'm gonna put the rivet Alright guys, so the rivet thing, it didn't work. I'm not gonna complicate my life in here. I'm just gonna put a bolt on it. That's gonna be much easier. Probably gonna have to make the hole a little bit bigger, so that way the bolt that I have will fit in there. But yeah, I decided to go with a bolt. It seems like if it's not. It seems like if the rivet machine that I have, it's not working properly. This thing is still a lot bigger. This should do it. Well, that should do it. This bolt gotta go through there. Yeah, there you go. Just gonna put the nut and problem solve. I don't think there's anything on the way that is gonna hurt that. So I have a little problem that the nut might not fit in here because I cut it. Alright guys, so I tried to cut the bolt and it didn't work. Things are not coming out my way this day. But I'm just gonna put a long bolt there and I'm gonna cut it there. I'm getting tired. I'm complicating my life. Yeah, so. Right. So it's tight. I don't want to over tighten it because I'm afraid the plastic is gonna break, but also I don't want it that loose. So I'm just gonna grab these vice grips and, you know, I could probably put the saw there. Trying to get the piece of a bolt with the vice grips. I mean, with a pair of dikes. Yeah, you might be able to get a saw to cut it, but hold on. Try do one more thing. Okay. Alright, time to bring this up. Alright, man, so I had to use a saw to cut this. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to be using bolts on this side too. But I'll figure that out later on. First, I wanna put the cable inside, and that's gonna be really interesting. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna try I don't think the camera is gonna be able to get a view in here, but I'm gonna try to. Alright guys, so to be able to connect the cable from the door handle, the one side, it's really tough. You're gonna have to have a lot of patience. I had to cut this piece just to see how this thing goes inside the cable, and you gotta put it on the right angle and it slides real easy. So what I had to do is I had to bring this handle all the way like that, and then I put a screwdriver. Alright, so I managed to put a screwdriver so that way this thing can stay open, and then with my hands I was able to hook it up. You're gonna have to have a lot of patience to do this. I was able to do it, but you need patience. It's hard, it's not easy. And if you wanna, maybe the other way to put the handle is to take the handle through the outside. I don't know, but I managed to put the cable inside, and now I'm in the process of putting everything back together. Like I say, it was pretty rough. I couldn't put the camera to show you how to do it because it's the space won't allow me, but I'm telling you, on the outside, again, I had to once this thing is inside, I had to manage how to keep this thing open like this. Once it's open like that, you can hook that thing a little bit easier. Another thing you can do is, before installing this thing, before putting it inside, try to look for something to keep it like that, open until you put the cable, and then close it. Alright, so let's keep moving. Alright, so the next step I'm gonna do is to put the okay, right there. Alright, so I pushed in all the way. Make sure it makes a good connection. Alright. And then we're on it. Alright, so before putting the bolts for the actuator, I'm actually gonna use bolts in here too, on the plastic thing, you know, the one. I'm gonna use bolts. And the reason is because, you know, I want to use these long bolts so that way I can manage to do other things while I put this on its place. Alright, so I'm gonna have to find another bolt because I used the other, I cut two of them for that thing. Alright, so that's one. And I'm gonna give it a gap. All I want is so that way it can fall in place whenever I'm ready for the other stuff. Like this, I wanna be able to put it on too before doing anything else. All right. Okay, so I found another bolt for this. I actually don't remember which way this cable was on. Hold on. Okay, so I put the other bolt in here loose. Remember, I'm gonna run the cable through here. Okay, so this is the cable for the door. I don't know if you remember. Okay, so we got this part done. All right. Okay, everything is falling into place. All right. So with one hand, before you put everything else on the back, with one hand, you hold this thing for the window regulator and push it until the clips, they clipped on it. So we got that part going. Now we're in the process of trying to put the bolts, the actual bolts for the actuator. Once the bolts are in there, everything should fall into place. All right, so I'm gonna get the bolts. So with one hand, grabbing this plastic that you have over here, you're gonna try to align the holes, all right, and install it just like I'm doing right now. It's just that I'm gonna use two hands, but see, I got the hole aligned, so I'm gonna put the bolt right there. I know you're not able to see because I'm using two hands. So I managed to get one bolt, and I'm gonna get the other one. I'm just gonna get the tool for these. All right, so I was able to put both bolts. Remember, it calls for a T30, and I'm gonna just tighten it in place. Do not overdo it because that thing seems to be plastic. I don't want to break it. Just make sure it's tight, but not like overdo it. All right. So we got the actuator on place. Okay guys, so I got these pins out. I put it on the door. One of them broke. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Next thing for me to do is to pass these rubber things for the cables and put it there correctly. All right, so I got one. Now gotta work on the second one. Let me see if I can fix the camera. So I'm gonna try to put this gasket into place. I guess what I want to do is bring the whole thing to the front. Just like that. Hope you saw that. All right, now I think it's time to put the gasket back on place. The gasket, all you have to just push it in. All you gotta do is squeeze it into place, just like the way it was. Okay, and just keep doing it all the way. All right, just push it in. All right, so once I got the gasket on place, I'm gonna put one of the bolts that goes on the door just to secure it, and just to leave it in place. Why am I doing this? So that way I can tighten these ones. All right, and tighten these two bolts. That's for the, if you remember, it's for the plastic. All right, I'm gonna tighten it as much as I can. All right, and then I'm gonna cut them out. All right, if it keeps turning, just hold that screw. All right, so just tighten this thing until it gets pretty tight. So I'm gonna put this piece of plastic back on here, and I'm gonna put the rest of the bolts on the door. Alright. I'm gonna put it all the way around. Alright, once I put all the bolts, I'm gonna proceed in tying them up, all of them. Yeah, I'm gonna tie them up. All right, so it's all the bolts. I'm gonna tie them up. All right, come. So I'm gonna proceed to tie them up. Remember, it takes a T27. T27 start or torque wrench. I don't remember how it's called. There's a T27. Go all the way around. Tying everything really good. And I think I got them all. All right. Now the last thing, I'm gonna try to put rivets on this just like the way it was, and let's see how it comes out. All right, so the rivet machine, it should look like this, and it should have quite a few heads. You gotta test which head is the one that fits on the rivets that you are going to use, and it's this one right here. So I'm gonna change the head to this one. Okay, so the way you do the rivets is you put it in the hole, put a lot of pressure, and with a gun and got it. See, we just got one. Really good. So we're gonna proceed with the other one until we got them all. My gun is not working too good, but let's do this one again. All right, so we put it in, press it, second time. It's kind of hard because there you go. See that? Now we're putting the rivets back on, just like on its original way. All right, so I got two more. I'm not going to show you that. You know how to do it now, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys, so I got all the rivets in place. I already cut these two bolts. All didn't come out loose. I got the gasket in place. I'm not gonna worry about this thing. So now it's the moment of truth. Let me see. I'm scared. Yeah, it seems like if this thing was in the closed position. Oh yes. Okay. So it's closing and opening. That's a good sign. Very smooth. No problems. So we got everything. All we have to do is just put the everything back on. Let's keep on moving. All right, so the next thing to put is the motor. You might want to connect it into place. It was these two, if I'm not mistaken, or perhaps I'm just gonna put it in place. It was like this. Yeah, it was just like that. And I'm just gonna put one of the bolts in here. 3 bolts. So that way it won't fall out. Now, oh yeah, see? One it goes on the first one, and the other one, if I'm not mistaken, it goes in here. There you go. It is connected. The motor is connected. We gotta tie these bolts into place. All right, let me bring the tools and so it calls for a T25. Let's get it on. Get this one. Yeah, so we got it done. The little hard plastic that it was on the actuator, I end up just not putting it on. It's so hard, it's so difficult to work. I don't know, it all depends on you if you want to do it or not. I choose not to. Everything else it was put on like the way it's supposed to, except that plastic. Tying these things up. It always has to be one. Alright, so we got it tight. Don't overdo it because it's plastic, remember? Tight, but not super tight. Alright, so we got the connections, we got everything. Now we're gonna have to put the cover. Alright guys, so this is how the cover goes. Just like this, facing up. We're just gonna put the bolts. All of them. All the bolts. Tying them up and if I'm not mistaken, it calls for a number 10 socket wrench. Alright. Good. Alright, got that. And we got all these other parts. Alright, tight. But not super tight. Alright, so we got this part. All we have to do is install the door panel and we're all set, believe it or not. I just can't believe it. I went through all this mess. Hopefully everything works like the way it's supposed to. Everything is tight, pretty strong. Let's see how the door comes out. Alright, so first I gotta connect the window wiring into its place. Alright, I'm doing it all by one hand, so I'm gonna try to do it as best I can. Second, we're gonna install this cable, which is for a speaker cable. Make sure you put these 2 pins like that. Now we have to put the door alright, so make sure this pin goes inside and then you slide this thing, or first let's slice it in here into place. And then we're gonna put this cable back. Yeah, there you go, just like that. Make sure it stays everything in place, otherwise it will come out. And the last thing is just to put the door, kind of go like up high in here, so that we can fit through there. Let's see, this has got to go inside through there. All right, so you kind of have to place with these bolts. Magnetize this thing, it will help you out a lot. Otherwise, you know, it's kind of hard to do it just like I'm doing it. It's hard, man. You have to kind of balance it into place because it's not magnetized. All right, so just put these remaining bolts and we're all set. All right, and done. I put all the bolts. Now it's time to put this thing in place. It clips on real easy. And same thing with this. It clips onto place. And we got the door and the actuator working. Beautiful. All right, so we got it gone. All right, so till next video, guys. It is one of the most complicated door actuators that I worked on. It was really complicated. Now I see why they don't have that many tutorials, but I got this tutorial for you guys. You decide, after you see all that, you decide if you want to do it or not. It can be done, but you need a lot of patience. All right, guys.